Why do we feel lonely on a spiritual path? Now, I think most of you understand this, that loneliness is not the absence of people. You can be surrounded by people but be completely lonely. Loneliness is not feeling connected to people in a way that one feels not being understood, not being heard, and not being validated or accepted for their choices and preferences and ideas. When all of this identification becomes deep, this loneliness becomes self-centric. Now, do not interpret this word as negative or positive. It is just a phenomena. What you will notice is that why loneliness is so painful, it is because it is selfish. It is convergent in nature. That means all the attention is converging to a point, to a center. And that center is the sense of separation. When we feel disconnected from others who could be loved ones, friends, family, there is usually this idea that why don't they understand my perspective? So there is a strong sense of separation at that point which is operating and giving rise to all this dynamic. And the mind is constantly spinning stories around it. Why is this happening to me? Why they do not understand me? And the result is that we withdraw, we go into isolation, and then we are left with our mind, which is our which is probably our worst enemy at that point. Because then we have to face ourselves. And the mind repeats the same old stories. They left me, people don't care about me. So it is all me-oriented, self-oriented. Is it good or bad? That's not the point here. The point is that it happens this way. And this happening brings about suffering in the biological organism. So for the mind, it may appear as a bad thing. But you see, this suffering is a pointer. Because we never challenge this sense of disconnection that we feel with the others. We never examine it completely. Is it real? Is there any substance to it? Or is it just a temporary arising and it is playing and then it subsides? But it keeps coming up because we never attend to it properly. We feel that the disconnection is real. I may feel that I am disconnected from my partner because probably they did not reply to my text on time, or they did not attend my call, or they were very bland in their tone. Usually they greet me very lovingly, but today they didn't greet me lovingly. So I get caught up in the mind's game. The mind says, you're not loved. You're not understood. They don't love you. It creates this subject-object split. Every thought creates subject-object split. Me versus the other. So this me, this need for this separate entity to be understood, to be validated, to be given what it needs, quote-unquote needs, it becomes the most important concern. Now, I do understand that there are certain essential needs. For example, human beings need connection. They need a healthy dose of validation, which I feel is a part of that healthy living. And they need to express also. So having a momentary feeling of sadness or depression or feeling of loneliness is perfectly fine. It arises in all. Even in the realized masters, loneliness has arisen. It is not that we can be totally free of it, and that is not the aim either. The aim is to understand the nature of this loneliness so that whenever it comes up in the future and it creates the split between me and the other, one can see it for what it is and allow that feeling, that sensation, to actually play and pass by being totally present to it. When I say totally present, I mean not letting mind spin stories around what is happening. So, what could be happening is that you may be expecting your partner, your friend, your associate to say something, to give you a praise, to give you some sort of a validation, and they do not. So, the first thought that comes up in the mind is, oh, I am not loved. I am not worthy of love. Because that's an old pattern, it's a very old belief. Maybe in my childhood I was told that, or not perhaps told, perhaps my caretakers acted in a way where I felt that I was unloved and unworthy. But I'm still carrying that past into my present. And my suffering is that I'm not dealing with what is arising in the present. I'm still caught up in the past. I'm still trying to fix myself. So I'm trying to find the ideal person, the ideal relationship, the ideal association, the ideal business partner that I can find, and finally the one who understands me, who fulfills me. And I don't feel this feeling of disconnection. But is it even possible? Is life so simple? We are told that we must find the ideal person, but are we the ideal person ourselves? The thing is that we are not. So how do we expect that we get an ideal person? And even if we get, how do we know that they will stay with us? How do we get an ideal life when we know that the flow of life is up and down? There will be ups, there will be down. There will be financial gains followed by financial turmoils. There will be relationship gains followed by relationship conflicts. But whenever a conflict or confusion arises in life, we experience a sense of disconnection from the world, from people, from loved ones, from friends, associations. Is that disconnection real? Is this sense of loneliness which is arising within me right now, can I give it my full attention and not let thought intervene in this process? When I give it my total attention, when I don't distort this perception, something amazing happens. This loneliness, with its sense of detachment, with all its belief of not being seen, heard, understood, it starts to dissolve, because this sense of separation also starts to dissolve, cutting down the subject-object split, which is me versus the other. So I am not in opposition to the other. I am the other, and the other is me. You see? But if I strongly hold this image of myself that I am so and so, and I need this, I need that, because I was told in books, in philosophies, by teachers, by psychologists, by professors, that I must have this, I must have that. And then I will be a completely individuated man, completely logical, rational man or woman. And then my life will be sorted. Then my loneliness will be over. If I have the perfect marriage, my loneliness will be over. But the fact is that so many people in their marriages feel lonely. So many people with families, extended families, feel lonely. Why? Because they have never addressed this sense of disconnection within themselves. They have never gone within to understand this image, me, which is separation, and find out what is the nature of this me. Life has always been focused externally for most of us. We are told read more books, understand life, talk to experts, and we do that. And which is fine. There is beauty in everything. Even talking to experts, listening to lectures, reading books, they all have benefits. I'm not saying that these are bad things. But at the fundamental level, who you truly are, if that question has not emerged, then the conflict will not get over. Until there is a conflict, there will be continuous suffering. Till you have not investigated the nature of this separation or me, this conceptual thought that seems so real and solid, there will be pain and suffering. Continuous pain, continuous suffering. Once the nature of this me is understood, and it is understood that this sense of disconnection that we feel in a given moment is not real. And there are words in Bible which says, this too shall pass. It's not just a written statement, it is a loaded statement. This too shall pass. That means hold it. Hold it while it is there. Pay total attention to it. Let not thought intervene. Let not thought distort that reality. Direct observation of what is, things the way they are happening. Let not thought create what should be or what should not be on what is. The moment thought comes into the picture, the subject-object divide happens. And this separation between the subject and the object is the reason for conflict and confusion. So going within, investigating the nature of this separation, investigating the nature of the disconnection that one feels from anyone, from friends, family, loved ones, it can be anyone, will bring insight, deep insight into the nature of this suffering that we call loneliness. Will it spare you even the moments of discomfort? No. Loneliness is a part of life and living. It will happen every now and then, but it will not dictate your life. Your actions will not come out of this separation of loneliness. Once you understand its nature, your actions will come out from wholeness. And you will see the illusion that is this loneliness, that is this sense of disconnection. There can never be any disconnection. If one is totally present with another, totally quiet, totally receptive to what is being conveyed, what you notice is that the other person also begins to calm down. And when there is no reactivity between two people, this peace, this aura, it becomes one. There are no more two. And it is in that moment that not even a single word needs to be said, because this peace itself brings this disconnection to an end. Disconnection is basically hiding yourself, hiding emotions. It is operating from a place of fight and flight, which is separation. And all actions born out of that are going to be reactive, impulsive, which is going to destroy relationships, friendships, associations. But when you're totally present, when you're calm, you create a safe environment for everyone around you, including yourself. And when there is safety, there is oneness, there is wholeness. Safety means end of separation. Most people feel unsafe because we are triggered most of the time. And that trigger happens because of our belief in separation. I am separate from you. You don't understand me. You don't validate me. You don't understand my needs and my wants and my desires. We fight. And the modern day advice for most people is just quit when things are hard and just find someone else. This is the modern day advice. Oh, somebody is challenging? Let's quit on them and find someone else. Now, with general associations, and of course, if, like for example, if you go to a shop and if the shopkeeper is not nice, you can go to another shop. But when it is your own family, when it is your parents, when it is your sibling, when it is your spouse, when it is your friends, co-workers, your boss, how do you do that then? Do you just quit things because things are hard? Or do you investigate what is happening? Do you investigate where this disconnection is happening, which is leading to miscommunication, which is leading to all this reactivity, which is leading to you withdrawing and then feeling the sense of loneliness? If we just label other people as horrible, bad, toxic, and keep cutting them out of our lives, who we will be left with? We will be left with this me, our own instrument. And trust me, being alone with this will be the hardest for you. And probably that is how it may happen for you. When you're totally left alone, you may have to face this me, yourself, and then realize how you contributed to the equation of this whole dynamic of disconnection that happened in your life. It happens so frequently in spiritual circles that when one partner receives spiritual understanding of some kind, and their mannerisms change and their views change, it is very difficult for the other partner to adjust and adapt to that. And so much miscommunication and misunderstandings happen. Now, for this person with the spiritual understanding, initially it is very hard for them because they do feel that they are not being understood, their views are not being respected. But you see, how can we expect people who are still completely involved in the game of life, who think that life is just struggle, fight? How do we convince them? We can't. We can just give them freedom to have their views, which can be contradictory from ours. And we can simply focus on our healing journey. When I say healing, I do not mean that we are healing something internally. It's just resting in the space of our own beingness. That is healing. Because in that space, there is no separation. So that is the highest healing. But what others think about me, whether my spouse approves or not, Whether my partner, my lover, my friend, my family, my parents, whether they approve or not, it doesn't matter to me. Whether they understand doesn't matter to me. I follow my own path. I walk my own road. And I let them have their views. If they follow a different path, if they want to explore materialism, I let them explore materialism. Yes, I may distance myself from the equation. I definitely do not want to be a part of the chaos and drama that ensues in such a dynamic, but I will not disrespect them. I will not hate them or keep resentment towards them for having different viewpoints, because even that is ordained by the cosmic law. Just as the universe, as the awareness decided to bring you insight, the same awareness is playing in them. And they are playing the role of the person who does not understand you. So when you stay with your own self and allow this and completely investigate this loneliness and allow it to transform into aloneness or of purity of being, you become restful. You do not worry what others think of you. You're not worried about your spouses or friends or parents' perception of you. You see loneliness for what it is, and you see it as an arising, and you know that it shall pass, and that the sun will rise again. And you keep being creative, you keep spreading love and joy and peace. You keep extending compassion even to those who do not understand you, without demanding that they must do certain things for you, or that they must, in some way understand you. What is this obligation we have to make other people understand us? Give them time. Let them go at their own pace. Bring the attention to your own inner world and see what is happening there. Look at your identifications. Look at this image, me. This is your key. It is your key to wholeness. Look at this I. What is it? What is its nature? These were the words of Sri Ramana Maharishi. The problem is that we keep getting lost. I am this and I am that. He says, be sincere to your job. That is, just stay with this I, and you will know who you really are. That is the fundamental question. And this question will strip away loneliness and bring about something profound, something very calming and very restful, which is aloneness, where there is no separation.